Hello and welcome. And today I'm looking at Legacy Armada Optimus Prime, which I just finally got. Although I ordered it and it shipped 3 days before Hasbro re-released it, so it's always nice paying a little bit more for it. Uh, but looking at it, uh, all the silver, or gray, blue, and red is cast plastic. The only paint is gold and the actual silver. He does look very good though. He's got some good detail on the back part. About as much detail as is needed on the cab. It was never a very detailed cab in the show either, and even on the original toy. But he does look good. They did a better job of hiding the super robot hands because the original they were sticking out here. He got the Matrix of Leadership in there, which is all a clear plastic, just painted gold, except for the center. Give it that crystal look. Autobot emblem, you can kind of see is raised up, fully painted. Smokestacks are silver now instead of the clear plastic they were on the original for the light up gimmick that the original toy had. The Super Blaster is just all cast in black, but does look pretty good. Good detail on it. Nothing crazy. Nothing too special. And the original trailer, pretty much the same thing. The gray, swirly gray plastic. Blue is mostly cast except for the accents. The red and gold, that's cast, but you know, a lot of it, some of it's painted, some of it isn't. This looks very good, being fully painted. And it's a little blockier than the original, a little smaller, but it still looks good. Let's see, here we go. And they do both roll, as it should, as I would expect. And speaking of the original, gotta compare the two. I have to. And first thing you notice is that the original is bigger. Bigger, and the trailer is really shaped differently. And part of it is the whole base gimmick and the super robot, just how they transformed it and all. But let's look at them one at a time here. Let's look at the cabs first. And the size is an obvious one, but other than that, you know, you've got a lot of more unpainted plastic. The silver bumper is a little bigger on the original. This is all molded instead of being on a slider. The marker lights are painted, whereas these are not. He has the gold band around his arm the entire way, whereas this one, they have it set up so it's really only, you know, when he's transformed you see it. You can see a little bit there, but that's it. There are those clear smokestacks I was talking about. Other than that, though, you can see the difference there in detail on the back. The original is not very detailed. The tires say, what is that? Monster Prime Convoy on the tires. Nothing there. You got the super robot hands at the back, and pretty much no detail on the back either compared to the new one. There's a look at the underside of the two of them. And they transform in a very, very similar way. It's almost exactly the same. They had the back closed off for the battery compartment of the original, and this one's all wide open. But when it goes to the super robot mode for transformation, this one had so many gaps, and this one actually looks complete and full. And then you can see all the electronics right there for the LED, because what was it? I think you could push this, or when you transformed, there'd be this little button, and it would auto-transform the trailer for you, which unfortunately my gimmick does not work. The light up does, not that. Trailer-wise, though, New one has weapon storage. This one, it's just inside. But there is a side-by-side look at those. And it's hard to say which would be more animation accurate, but either way, they both look good. The treads with the suspension, the original has a little bit more detail, but they still both look good. Huge Autobot logo on the original. The back looks better on the original. It's just all closed off other than the two giant gear sets for the auto transform. There's the top. You're still looking at you're pretty much looking at the legs for the super mode, either way. And then the bottom, this doesn't look like it really does much. It doesn't look like it really transforms or anything, the original. But the new one, you can see the feet and the knees. To me, it's not a big deal. I don't really care. Just merely showing the differences. Now, oh, and this one actually has kickstands, so it can stand by itself. The original was just big enough that it didn't really need kickstands. And then continuous size comparisons real quick here. Here is Hotshot, Note, and Jolt, and they look very good together, and I hope that when we get a Red Alert that he is in scale with these guys as well. I also hope Red Alert comes with his Minicon, but I'm not going to hold my breath there. They seem to be against giving us a lot of Minicons at the moment in this Armada line. There is Armada Megatron, the reissue. I'm not going to bother comparing the original to him. Maybe I'll compare the original to this guy, though. And lastly, something that a little bit more common, the Earthrise Prime mold alternate universe take. And you can see Armada is, I'd say about 1.5 inches longer. About the same height. Definitely wider. So there you have that. That is it for comparisons. In vehicle mode, he's probably about as long as my Alien Attack Macron. Since he is transformed at the moment, why not? I'm not going to normally compare a Masterpiece figure, but he's almost as long as Macron. Such a weird comparison, I know. Doesn't make any sense, but why not? He was right there next to me. Alright, and let's get to transforming him to his normal robot mode, and this to the base mode. Right, so first thing, I'll go ahead and do the trailer, because I never use trailers for base modes, and I tend to forget how to do them. So let's see here. Alright, first we take care of that. I'm going to pop out these panels. Bring this down. That wasn't sitting there all the way. Flip these two up. I'm going to make sure the kickstands are out. And yep. Now I'll just split it apart. There we go. And we'll bring that down. Bring both of those around. And this has 2 tabs that are going to go right into those slots. We'll go ahead and plug that in. Good. So you'll have that panel back down, and you got a tab and a slot right there. Go ahead and plug that in on both sides. All right, so that's what we're looking at the moment. Now these, we're going to take them out, They're on that double joint. Pop them down, and then this gets popped into the knee. And yeah, have these out. I did forget about that, but thankfully they move part of the ankle tilt, so they're not really in the way. There we go. Get that down. Okay. Now this, you'll rotate it, which it does come off very easily. So, a little annoying to be honest. I pop it off all the time by mistake, but bring that down, that up, and yeah, that's it. That's the base mode. Go ahead and attach the gun up here if you would like. Why not? And now the part, more important part. Go ahead and take off his smokestacks. There we go. They are very secure for 5mm pegs. I'll go ahead and put them on the end of his gun. Alright, let's get this transformed. First thing, go ahead and bring these two pieces out. Here, move this so I have room to work. There we go. So move those two pieces out. Then this whole thing comes down. There we go. Use that shoulder joint, and then you just bring them down. There. Okay, and now the wheels just tab in right there, so you just pop them out, you rotate them, and there is a slot right there that goes onto that tab. Now it's not very secure, and it comes undone all the time for me, but then you'll flip both of these up just to kick out his feet, and then bring them both down. Okay. Separate his legs, and then you want to bring the skirts out of the way, because they will be in the way. And if you want to use his smokestacks as weapons, all you can do is keep them attached to the sides, and they'll be like wrist blasters. Or you can just have him use his large super cannon, which I can't remember from the show. I last watched it back in, what, probably like 8 months ago. I don't remember if he used that cannon or not in his normal mode, but there you go. He can shoot things and stuff. His hands being kind of enclosed like they are, you are kind of limited on your wrist movement. It does go 360, but it's not really useful to go any more than like this 90-degree movement. But even so, that is him in the base mode and regular robot mode. And again, him, you can see, you know, a little bit more gold there. But other than that, oh, and then his head itself, you know, silver and gold painted. His eyes are painted yellow, which is very difficult to see because of how big his eyebrow is. But there you have it. He is, I think it's a ball joint. You can go 360 around. You've got a little bit of down, a little bit of up, and then a tiny, tiny bit of a tilt. You've got a shoulder rotation. Shoulders that'll go up to there. Yep, there you go. Double jointed elbow, so it goes all the way up. Can even go back for transformation. He does have one click of an ab crunch, because that is a joint for the super mode. No waist rotation though, because everything splits down the middle. So those two joints, they each have a rotation for the super mode, but that makes him useless for this mode. Kicks out to there on a ratchet, all the way back on a ratchet as far as the skirt will let you, and up on friction. The wheels and the skirt collide, so that's as far as you can go, but if you know, it'll go up all the way. You do have thigh rotation. You have single jointed knee for exactly 90. And again, because of transformation, you can go forward too. You have ankle tilt. You have a little toe tilt that way. But it's again, it's for transformation. So if you hold that steady, you get the actual toe tilt, and it'll go both ways. But again, it's you can tell it's not meant to be used for articulation, because it's almost like a ratchet. It's got the thoops in there because it's for the other mode and for transformation. But there is him in his base mode and regular robot mode. Alright, and now that we have him transformed, you can see, you know, there's no gimmicks like the original had. Even this, it sits here. It doesn't really do much of anything else. But now let's get some comparisons in. So when I do my comparisons, if I'm using the same figures, I'll pause recording and I'll transform them, right? I had a casualty just now, moments ago. So, oh, keep your thighs together, just separate. Yep, there you go. Okay, that's a little better. I've got to remember, he doesn't really have any posability. And now he's lopsided because he's missing an arm. I really hope it just snapped right off. I really hope I can glue that together. Thankfully, I keep him in his super mode stored, so those just fold up behind him. Yeah. Adjust this a little, but you can see the height difference, the much bigger tires he has. He's got his smokestacks combined to make his pistol. This really is concerning. Yeah, well, his hand would pop out for transformation. I really hope I can fix that. Then we have the original base mode. Get you out of the way, get that out of the way. So you can see the difference here. This one's all multi-tiered. It's got this little button that swings that out for a mini con to sit on, I suppose. Little radar dish. Got a little targeting panel here, which this one, let's see how well the camera will pick it up. You can kind of see they made a mold on it for like a little targeting panel. Not too much though. This one, of course, does have ports all over for lights or sounds or for mini cons to interact. Here's a Canon. Let's see, you've got, okay, that's a pop-up. And you've got these little sliders, because both of these cubbies open up. This one has a little slider to push a minicon out. So he's got a lot of gimmicks, right? And then the new one, of course, doesn't, because they're just not going for that as they're doing these reissues, which I get. I am totally okay with that, because gimmicks are just more things that can eventually fail. But still, you can see they very wildly changed the base mode. And thankfully, nobody buys it for the base mode. Shoot, out of all the trucks that I have that have a base mode, you know, Manosaur and Earthrise Prime and all that kind of stuff, he's the only one that actually has a legitimate base mode in the show. Well, anyway, we're going to transform to a super mode now, and we'll do this one first because it's right here. Since he doesn't auto-transform, I just got to use the ratchets and shoot the missile, apparently. Tab that together. Come on. There we go. And there we go. That's it? Yeah, that's it. Super Pants. Go ahead and get that missile back in there. Okay. I'm going to get this off to the side for a moment. Oh, I'm getting just a hair ahead of myself. Comparisons. Of course, comparisons. So there he is with Hotshot, which he looks a little small to me. And then with Megatron. And I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty close to the show. The Armada show didn't have nearly as many, inaccuracies from episode to episode as the original show did. And there he is with Earthrise Prime. So yeah, I think that scale between him and Megatron is pretty close to what we'd see in pretty much all the episodes, minus his super mode. So now that we've done those comparisons, super mode. All right, let's see. Nope, that's going to stay up. Let's see if I can remember. That's going to come down. Those are going to pop out. These are his feet. Okay. Separate that. Rotate that. You can tell I've only done this a couple times. Okay. Yep, bring that down. Which that does not tab in anywhere. But bring that down, bring those down. Those are his hip skirts. And I'll flip that up for a second. Bring those in. And this whole thing. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Because you've got these two tabs, they go into those two ports. There we go. All right, and I'll leave it like that for just a second while we get the cab. So, bring both of these up. Bring this up. Yeah, we'll find out shortly if I'm right or not. So I'll come back to that. Let's see what we need for... Here, I'm going to rotate those down because these come apart. And then those come down. Then the head pops up. It's just on that panel. You may have to spread apart the shoulders a little bit. There we go. Flip that around. So you want to flip those in like that. Then you can rotate them around. Then you can flip them back the other way to close the fist up, and so that you don't really have anything extra on the back. So same thing on this side. Compress it in, rotate around, unfold, close up. That is that. See what I mean about these tires not staying tabbed in? There we go. Okay, and now let's fix the bottom of it. That'll come down. You'll use these double joints because you've got a tab here and a slot back there. Try not to hit my camera here. Okay, so that's what we got going on back there. And that is how that needs to be. Then you can close these up. So you've got his front end looking like that. There he is. Oh, and this can slide down. All right, and now to combine the two, this whole area is going to go into here. Now for me, it's a little stiff, but it goes. And once you get it in there, you close this panel down. If this is still up, you want to bring that down because it should be like that. And then you just fold it all forward. You've got these giant tabs that go into those slots. There we go. This just rests in place. And that is Super Armada Prime. So before I do any size comparisons and take a risk at damaging my original Optimus even more, let's see. Head, ball joint. So you can go, can't really go down. You can go up a little bit. But you can do a full 360, you can do a head tilt. Shoulders, all the way around on a ratchet. You can go up on that joint. And then this is the joint you're supposed to use, but they give you two. Just because that's for transformation. Then you have his bicep swivel. It's at the top. Then you have his elbow, which 90 degrees. And you have a wrist rotation. The tires are going to get hit and dislodged by the thumb, but it will do a full 360, and then just all four fingers are on the single pin. And that is why I personally got the upgrade kit. I just haven't installed it yet. So he has no waist rotation or ab crunch. He is all locked in because that's where he combines. But if you move that skirt out of the way, there we go. There we go. Okay, that's a little better. He'll go all the way up. Move that skirt. He'll go all the way out. It looks like it's a ratchet, but it's just friction for going out. And he'll go back a couple clicks, but not much because of the giant backpack. Like, I'm pretty sure this is accurate. I don't think that is. But it's a lot better than what we got with the original toy. Again, I'm got the upgrade kit to get rid of that. I think it gets rid of it anyway. We'll see. So, thigh rotation. Very strong knee joint that does a 90-degree bend. You have no downward tilt on the toes. You do have upper because transformation. And then you have a really good ankle tilt. Look at that. That'll go 90. Give him a sprained ankle. Okay, and the knees will apparently go backwards a click. So, unnecessary, but it's there. There we go. Okay, I'm about to say, you're supposed to stand easily. So there he is. And again, he looks excellent compared to the show and the original toy. Let me get the original one set up and we'll compare. Okay, here is the original. It's able to transform without any further breakages. There we go, and you can see a massive height difference. And let's give him his weapon. You don't really need to worry about the fist because of that closed up, how they have the port molded in. Come on, stick together. There we go. So, height difference for sure. Other than that, though, detail is about the same. Um, difference is he's got some of the gimmicks, like he's got his cannon here that can come out. This one doesn't. He doesn't have any cannons there, but because of the kickstands, I suppose you could kick them out if you wanted to, recreate that. Uh, both have their weapons, of course. I never could figure out why this does this as a kid, why they gave it that option. Light up feature. But transformation is very similar. His trailer, of course, has a lot more steps because he's a much better designed trailer than that one is. But you can see, I mean, they look almost the same. He's definitely a little bit shorter. Uh, Here, let me show you what I was talking about for. You can see how closed up he is, and then how open he is, even with a missing fist. This does not want to stay tabbed in right now. I know I played with him a lot as a kid, but I don't remember ever having that trouble with him. But there he is, and then just for more comparison, here's the Armada Megatron, which, I mean, yeah, that looks good, because it did give him increased height. I believe, like, usually he had to team up with Tidal Wave, I think, to be able to, or his Minicon to do the whole, cannon on the front thing. Nah, I won't do it now. Just my luck at the moment. If I try doing that, I'll probably break something else, even if it is a new figure. So, but, looking at it, uh, after playing with them a bit and transforming them, overall, even though I have the original, I would definitely say this guy is worth it. For me, because I don't just keep them posed in straight stances like that. I like having the articulation to be able to give them different poses. Uh, and he, especially now that my original just broke on me, literally moments ago. Definitely good timing that I got the updated version. Overall, I'd recommend them if either you don't have it and you were a fan of the show, or if you're just a fan of Optimuses in general. But even if you have the original, I'd probably recommend him. He's got his issues, like this whole tail thing. Uh, and why did they give? Okay, his shoulders do like to come untabbed. The little hip skirts. So you really got to hold up here if you want to use that shoulder joint. But I mean, he's got some minor issues with just the wheels don't want to stay tabbed in. That keeps doing its thing. And then again, why did they give him one pin for all four fingers? They could have given him individual fingers. They could have given him multiple pins, and they could have given us a thumb. It's better than nothing. It's better than just a closed fist, and that's what you get. But for this size, they really do have the space to be able to split that up. I don't get why they didn't. I'm sure it's just a cost or a laziness thing. But either way, he looks awesome. Like I said, even if you have the original, I personally think he's worth the money. At the original price point for sure, maybe a little bit above. Like I said, I think it was 110. And it was already shipped and in flight or truck, whatever, 3 days before Hasbro said, oh, we're going to reissue him. So go figure. But at the original, the $90 price, I think he's definitely worth it. I said, even if you're just for Optimus, this was the only show out of the Armada, the Energon universe that I did like was Armada. Energon, wasn't really a big fan of that weird cell shade slash CGI look they had in a lot of the character designs. And Cybertron, I didn't even bother watching that one. Not yet, anyway. So, but anyway, there we go. I need to go repair my original Armada Prime, and I think he's going to be a static model only from now on. So, thank you for watching, and until next time.